Hey guys, I was supposed to start this at 11:30, but Dr. Dunbar is a busy man and I have a whole slate of things to do today, so I'm going to get this one going early. This is going to be a short stream and it's going to be a short recap of last night's season-ending Sweet 16 loss to the Villanova Wildcats. So, with that being said, you notice my background keeps changing. I have to keep moving around. Well, that's life. Change is a part of life. Anyway, I'm going to play the introduction. It looks like I'm going to get more people watching on the playback than live. That happens sometimes on YouTube. So I'm going to play the introduction, and on the other side, I am going to give my thoughts on last night's game. So I'll see you on the other side. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. NYU Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. First of all, please like this stream or the playback if you're watching it on the playback. Please share and please subscribe. I just checked before the beginning of this stream, and I am at 1,084 subscribers. So I am 16 away from reaching the next centennial mark, which is 1,100. So if you're new to the stream, let me move up a little. I have long legs, and this desk has a low hanging bar. So I'm going to try not to shake the computer for the rest of the stream because that looks bad. So if the algorithm has brought you here, and if you're new, do me a favor. Please hit that subscribe button. Likes are free. Please like the stream as well. Likes are free. And subscriptions are free. If you like the content, please leave a comment. If you don't like the content, please leave a comment as well. Some random guy left a nasty comment under my Chris Webber video a couple of weeks ago, and I was just thinking, why leave a nasty comment like that? But that's a part of YouTube, and as long as you're not flagging my channel down, all engagement is good, and all engagement is welcome. Because if I'm affecting people to the point where they're leaving nasty critical comments, then that's a good thing. Anyway, if you're watching this live, well, I don't have a live. Someone dipped in and someone dipped out, but I don't have a large audience or any audience right now. But if you're coming in, the super chat is live. If you want to super chat me something, and if you're watching on the playback, and you want to donate to the channel, which you're under no pressure to do, my Cash App and PayPal are here. Now, before I jump into last night's season-ending defeat, yet again at the hands of the Villanova Wildcats, I want to do some quick advertising for the people watching on the playback. So for those of you who don't know, I am a writer in addition to being a YouTube content creator. Well, actually, all of this constitutes my 5 to 9. Like everybody, I have a 9 to 5, which I dream about leaving sometimes, but I have a 5 to 9. So that's in part being a YouTube content creator, and it's also in part being a writer. So I am starting a monthly newsletter. This link is below. please join them with the newsletter. And it will talk about my writing activities, my YouTubing activities, and it will also talk about my book project. I see 2 folks have joined. Please hit the like button. If you're new, please subscribe. My book project is also, it's coincidentally about basketball. It's about what sports teach you as a young person, about life and how to succeed. It's called The Engineers of Western New York Basketball Story. That's it right there. The link is below. And I just published another promotional piece on one Clifford Robinson. Played basketball at Riverside High School in Buffalo, New York, my mother's alma mater. He played his college ball at UConn, go Huskies. And then he went on and had a long 18-year NBA career playing for multiple teams. So this is below in the description box as well. So newsletter, book project, and that Cliff Robinson article is over on my community tab. Okay, if you want to take a look at it. If you do, please leave a comment there on my blogging platform. Okay, so short stream. This will be a short stream. So Michigan's 2021-22 season, the men's basketball team, came to a close last night. Yet again, at the hands of Jay Wright's the Villanova Wildcats. I guess you could call Villanova a legacy program. You know, they won back in the old Big East, that magical season with Ed Pinckney and Harold Presley and Raleigh Massimino as the head coach. And then they became a basketball power once again under Jay Wright's leadership. And they actually defeated John Beilein's Michigan Wolverines a couple of years ago in the national title game. So they have a legacy program, a historic program. And in recent years, they've had our number, the Michigan basketball team. So I have the box score pulled up here, but I'm just gonna, as a sports fan, as a basketball fan, and as I describe in my book, I was once a player, albeit at a lower level. I'll just say that Villanova, their style of basketball, and I said this in yesterday's stream, they're not a tall team, but they're a versatile team. Pretty much all of their players can shoot it from long range. Pretty much all their players can put the ball on the floor and drive it. Pretty much all their players can square up and take their man off the dribble. And so they're a versatile team. They can play defense, as evidenced by this background that I'm using of one of their players erasing a dunk from what's his name, Moussa Diabate. I was thinking about using the Eli Brooks picture of him taking the charge, but this was a good play right here. This block on Moussa Diabate. Diabate had gotten the ball close to the basket earlier in the half, and he turned and dunked it with 2 hands. But this time he went up to do it, and this player from Villanova just reached up and swatted that one away. So it was a good game. I thought Michigan was in there pretty early. Kareen, not Karen, stopping through. Thank you, Kareen. Thank you for stopping through. Always good to see you. She says, not a college basketball fan, but here for support. I appreciate that. You know what? Let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube here. All right, I'm live. Let me mute that. Okay. So I have an ad going. I think this time slot is tricky because a lot of folks are working. I think if I did this right at the noon hour, there'd be some more folks coming in here and hanging out, but it is what it is. I have a lot of things to do. Anyway, okay, Corrine says, I like Duke, though, for decades, just love the stories, and they are always on TV. Yeah, I heard they survived last night. I think it would be good for Coach K to go out with a one more championship. His team, while athletic, they don't. It looks like they're missing something. They're long and athletic and versatile, which a lot of the Duke teams are. But this Duke team, it for some reason, it doesn't look like it has the ability to close and put opponents away. So there are 3 games left, potentially 3 more games left. Let's see if this Duke team can win one for the Gipper, as they say. All right, so Michigan, Villanova. So the Michigan Wolverines fell at the hands of Villanova yet once again, 55-63 for um, a final record of 19-15. The Wolverines didn't have a stellar season the way they did last year. Last year, they were a number 1 seed going into the tournament, and they lost Isaiah Livers just before the big dance started, and then they fell to I think coincidentally number 11 ranked UCLA, led by Johnny Juzang and Jaime Jaquez and Tiger. Was it Tiger Caldwell? Tiger something, kid with the big dreads. But yeah, so our team was number 1 ranked in their region last season, and then they fell in the regional to UCLA, a game that they could have won. This season, a bunch of players left. Some of the guys declared for the NBA. Some guys graduated. And what was left was Hunter Dickinson, Eli Brooks, Brandon Johns, and a host of newcomers. So again, I'm going to admit that I did not watch our basketball team from the beginning of the season to the end. And I think that for me, with my time constraints, because the football team's season went longer than any of us expected it to, and thankfully so, I just didn't get a early start watching our basketball team and covering our basketball team. There are only so many hours in a week and just a lot of things going on. If you're new coming in, please hit the like button. If you want to super chat me something, that is there as well. My Cash App and PayPal are there, blah, 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 blah. So, despite the struggles during the season, despite the little dust up in Madison, Wisconsin between Juwan Howard and the Wisconsin coaching staff, the Wolverines rebounded, and the NCAA tournament selection committee thought that they would be worthy of an 11th seed or an 11 seed. And the Wolverines earned an 11 seed, and they beat their first 2 opponents for this latest matchup with the Villanova Wildcats. So the game went pretty much the way that I thought it would. I'm just going to run through some of the statistics here. I'm going to give my synopsis, and then I'll wrap this stream up. Yeah, guys, please hit those likes. Hit the like button, get those likes up. Yeah, so the final score was 66-53 Villanova. If you look at the, in men's college basketball, they play 2 20-minute halves, and then they go to OT if it's necessary. Villanova won both the halves. They won the first half 31-28, And then they won that second half 30-27, accounting for the 63-55 score. I want to take a look at Michigan's scoring first in terms of the statistics. So Michigan only had 2 double-digit scorers. That was Hunter Dickinson with 15 points and Eli Brooks with 14 points. Musa Diabate had 7 points and Devontae Jones had 7 points. And I think that what the Wolverines were looking for was probably for Musa Diabate to get into double figures as well. But in certain stretches during the game, if you watched it, you saw that Michigan had a hard time putting the ball in the basket, particularly close to the rim. Let's see. Let's take a look at Villanova's production and what their stats were. So Villanova had 3 players in double figures. So Jermaine Samuels scored 22 points. Colin Gillespie, the dean of that team, I think that might be the proper term, the dean of that team, he scored 12 points, and Justin Moore scored 15 points. So they had 3 double-digit scorers. We only had 2. And as I said before, I thought that the game was pretty even. You could look at the point totals for both halves, and it's not like Villanova blew our team out, but there were just stretches where our team just couldn't put the ball in the basket. And I thought that there were some errant, I don't know if errant's the right word. I thought there were some careless plays on our part. I'm thinking about Devontae Jones and that pass, that simple pass he could have connected with Hunter Dickinson on, but he got a little too fancy and it sailed out of bounds. There were, I think there were some errant shots that were thrown up by our team. But I thought the game was close, aside from that stretch in the second half where Villanova pulled away. And then there was a stretch where our team just couldn't put the ball in the basket. Now, here's what I think. I'm an old school guy. One of the main characters in my book is an old school coach. I thought Michigan did not take full advantage of its advantage in the front court. You know, the ball got into Musa Diabate several times. With a 7-footer like Hunter Dickinson, if I'm Juwan Howard, I think I keep applying the pressure to Villanova, and I let Hunter Dickinson, and I insist that Hunter Dickinson touch the ball over and over and over again. Okay, and I make Villanova adjust. Now, there were times when Hunter Dickinson caught the ball, the low block, and he took forever dribbling the ball, and he took forever making his move. But if I'm that coaching staff, I tell that kid, take 2 dribbles, turn it, and dunk it. And I tell Devontae Jones, stop dancing around with the ball, stop trying to be cute. I tell Eli Brooks and the rest of those guards, spread the floor. Dickinson, you go to the low block, and then I just keep dumping the ball in and make Villanova adjust. I thought there was too much, there was just too much extra. And I think that with a 7-footer like that, you just pound Villanova over and over and over again, or make them make an adjustment. Now, Villanova, they did have some athletic bodies, so it may be easier for me to say that. And again, I'm not out there playing the game, but as an onlooker, I'm a traditionalist. I'm an old school guy. I think you attack the opposite team with your strength as often as possible and make them pay. So I think, and if you do that, I think Hunter Dickinson ends up with more than 15 points. And if you do that, I think that you get at least one other double digit scorer. So I think that was a winnable game. I think that the Wolverines were right there, but I don't think they exploited their advantage as much as they could have. Okay. And again, I'm caveating that with I'm not out there playing the game. The kids are playing the game. It's a lot easier for me to sit on the sidelines and say what they should have done. But that's if I was the coach, that's what I would have done. And that's not taking anything away from Villanova. As I said, and they pointed this out during the broadcast last night, that Jay Wright recruits athletic players who can shoot it, players who can score up, players who can put the ball on the floor, and players who can get into the paint. So he recruits teams like that. He recruits players like that intentionally. Um, they can run the ball up and down the floor, or they can slow it down. And they have leaders and versatile players like Colin Gillespie. So that's what I think about last night's game. I think it was a good finish for a year where the team struggled a little bit, or it was a good finish for a team that had to rebuild after losing the pieces that it lost last year. But I thought it was a winnable game, and I thought that they were right there with Villanova. In terms of going forward in the future, I don't know that Hunter Dickinson. If you're watching on the playback, does Hunter Dickinson put his name in the NBA draft right now? I think he's probably still got more work to do. And the other thing is, I didn't like seeing Hunter Dickinson step out and do the stretch five thing. I mean, if he can shoot it, fine. If he can make those with consistency, fine. He didn't shoot too many of those. But I think in this game, in this instance, he hurts Villanova closer to the basket. So I'm thinking he probably needs to bulk up a little bit more, strengthen his arms, strengthen those hands, and just get to the point. He needs to get to the point where he can take over a game, where he can impose his will upon his opponents and the game. I'm not seeing that just yet. He's a sophomore. And also the other thing that people need to keep in mind is that most front court players who play with their back to the basket are dependent upon the backcourt players. So if the backcourt players, your guards, if they're not well trained and unselfish in terms of getting the ball down low and into the front court, then those front court players, they're not going to blossom and become they're not going to maximize their potential. I'll just say that. So, guys, that's my reaction to last night's game. It's not a surprise for me, knowing that this was a rebuilding year for us, and also just knowing how Villanova plays and knowing that they still had Colin Gillespie. I would have liked to have seen our team defeat Villanova and go on to the Elite Eight and potentially to the Final Four. But, in some instances, the more experienced team wins and the more talent and often the more talented team wins. And I thought that Michigan just should have exploited their height advantage up front a little more than they did. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this. So Michigan, yeah, they had a strong finish. And I'll have to take a look and see how many pieces are coming back next year. But if they'll probably get Dickinson back, and then it's who's around Dickinson and does Dickinson take that next step. So um, I don't see why they don't continue being an NCAA tournament team. And if Dickinson stays and he develops and the supporting cast develops, then this could easily be a Final Four team next season. So everyone, I'm going to stop the stream here. I mean, there are still exciting teams in what's left of the original field. I'm going to be keeping my eye on Duke, and I know I for the most part have a Michigan sports fan base, but Michigan sports history, especially on the basketball side, is tied or it's intermingled with Duke basketball. So whenever Coach K washes out, or if Coach K ends all this hoisting the trophy again, I think it'll be worth doing something on Coach K. I didn't like Coach K when I first started watching sports because the Duke Blue Devils were kind of seen as the Boston Celtics of college basketball. They're a quote unquote white team. But over the years, I gained respect for Coach K and the Duke basketball program. So I will probably do something on that and on them, however their season ends, because an icon is about to retire from college basketball. Anyhow, that's all I wanted to say. Good season, Wolverines. The game was in reach. There's more that could have been done, but that's why you play the games. So I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to say, if you're watching on the playback, please like, share, and subscribe. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC newsletter, which is here. Kareen says, please consider joining the newsletter. Kareen says, LOL Celtics. Yeah. Well, Kareen, you're a New Yorker, so you're probably a New York Knicks fan. Patrick Ewing, Mark Jackson, Rod Strickland, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. That's probably how you got down. I was a Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls guy, so that was my crew. And please leave comments underneath. I want to thank Ashwin for leaving a comment underneath yesterday's stream. If you have some thoughts on last night's season-ending loss, please leave those in the comment section of the playback. All right, everyone. Dr. Dunbar has to run and has a bunch of things on the list to do. So once again, please like, share, and subscribe. Go Blue. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Oh, by the way, wasn't it good to see Jalen Rose, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson in the crowd last night? So with Jawan coaching the team, it looks like he's bringing the Fab Five and those players back. So that was a good thing. Anyway, I'll do it again. Go Blue. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.